we are not trying to talk about Draymond Green. But as I said last night, Rob, he's the gift that keeps on giving. And once again, last night, Draymond dropped, well, he didn't do a podcast. He did an interview with The Athletic. And he says something, and look, I think Rob can speak for himself, but I believe he agrees with me. I am not against players doing other things during the finals. Isaiah Thomas, the legend, made a great comment after game 3 when Draymond played poorly and said, look, when you're in the finals, you have to be 100% focused on your opponent. And Draymond's distracted. I think that was a great comment by Isaiah, but different strokes for different folks. Some guys can still hang out at the club during the finals. Some guys can, spend time with their family. Michael Jordan went to Atlantic City, right? Like, if a guy's hanging out at the club until 5 in the morning, Rob, because that's what he does the night before the game, and he can go into the game and still play great or at least play to his normal level, like his game doesn't drop,
then
you can't say anything. Right, you can't say a word. But if you go into the club till 5 a.m., and you show up and you're trash and you play nothing like your capabilities, then you open yourself up to be criticized. And that is what is happening with Draymond Green and his podcast. And Rob, after hearing this comment, I think people are really going to go berserk. Here it is. Rob G, tell us what he told The Athletic.
That's right. Draymond Green, to our friend Sam Amick of The Athletic, asked about his burgeoning podcast career. Here's what he said, quote, "It's all a business, The way I view my podcast is that I'm operating a business. Like, you can't get tired of operating your own business or it fails. So it's something I take as serious as I do basketball. And so if I'm going to show up for the game, I show up for the podcast, or it doesn't work."
There it is. The money quote. I take this as serious as I take basketball. Rob, the floor is yours.
I just have a problem, Chris. I really do, and I get that. You can have a podcast. You can start a business. You want to get in the media. You want to get ahead of the other guys by doing stuff in season and contributing to TNT and getting to know who the bosses are and seeing if you have chemistry in case Charles Barkley retires. I get all that, Chris. I'm not against that.
Right.
But for you to be a current player saying that something is equal to your day job,
another
the
job, right.
Right, is equal to you. Chris, that would be me coming in today saying me doing comedy stand-up is as important as the Odd Couple. You would look at me like I'm crazy. Am I right?
Right. Absolutely.
And that's why we look at Draymond. Because you can do all that, but it ain't equal. I hate to break it to you. I don't know what Colin Cowherd's paying him, but I guarantee you it's not NBA money, Chris. I guarantee you that.
You're right. You are absolutely right, Rob. And Draymond, look, what did Pat Riley always say? Or does he always say? Keep the main thing the main thing.
Right. And I love the other one he used to say to the Knicks. Either you're in or you're out.
There it is.
That's what he said.
And again, it's not that you can't do something else. But don't tell me it's as important to you as the podcast, because guess what? The only reason you have a podcast,
thank you,
is because of basketball. So you can't tell me it's as important as basketball. I'm sorry. Now, I won't go this far. I won't say if Draymond doesn't deliver on the court, then his podcasting will go down the toilet. Because he's played long enough. He could be washed. And some people think he is washed. He's playing like he's washed.
He's definitely not the same.
He's not the same, right. We'll see whether or not he's washed. But he's set up. He's won 3 championships. He'll be a Hall of Famer. He's done media, as you said, Rob. Like, at this point, he is enough of a personality on his own where he can stink up the joint in basketball going forward, and he's still going to have a media career if he wants it. But why did you get it, Draymond? You got wit. You got banter. You got a great personality. You'll say what you want, which is a strength. But don't get it twisted. This all started with basketball. And you owe it to yourself. But at this point, I'm going to say as much, if not more importantly, you owe it to your teammates. You owe it to the Warriors. They're the ones paying you the 20, 30 million, whatever it is. You have a chance to win another championship. And anything that is potentially distracting you. And Kevin Wildes, Rob, on the show today, first things first, made a great point. He said, look, is the podcast hurting Draymond's game? I don't know. But I've yet to hear Draymond say, it's helping me. Draymond hasn't said, you know what? I get a kick out. I get a rush out of the podcast.
This
it helps me get my mind straight.
Get rebounds, right?
Well, but you know, like I get my mind straight. I'm able to just get things off my chest. So when I go out on the court, I'm loose, I'm relieved, I'm free, and I'm a better player. If he said that, I mean, if the way he's playing, people wouldn't buy it. But at least you would be giving us something. So it looks like, Rob, at the very least, this is a neutral thing. At best, this is neutral. It's not helping you perform in the finals. Even if it's not detracting from your performance in the finals, it's neutral. So why are you putting something that is neutral? Why are you doing it when you got a championship to go compete for? So it's not a good look, Rob. And again, this is not about him having the right to do whatever the heck he wants. This is about his performance. And quite honestly, if he wasn't doing his podcast, people would be on him anyway because he's not playing well.
Right.
But they're on him even more because of all the noise he's creating.
And it just comes with the territory, Chris. Whenever, like I used to always say this about when they would give Tony Romo a hard time. And it's because he was dating, what was her name? Jessica Simpson? What was her name?
Jessica Simpson.
Right?
Yep.
And every time he'd have a bad play, Chris, or something go wrong, they would have a shot of her in the owner's box or whatever. You know what I mean? And I used to say, is he the only guy with a girlfriend or a wife? Come on now. Like, come on. Like, they want to play. But what I'm saying is people will go to other stuff when you push it. Like, like he could be doing his podcast, Chris, and nobody would even, I'm talking about like the pushback and the issues with other people and all that. It's bringing big attention to it, and I guess he's trying to push it. But because you don't play well, people are going to attack to say you're not focused. It's just what people will have to assume because you're not playing well.
And here's the thing. He said he's building a business. You're not doing any of the technical stuff, which is fine because we don't do any of the technical stuff with our stuff. You get on there.
Where would we be without Alex or Elijah?
Right. So you got other people doing that. But you don't have to do it. Like, Rob, I get it that his podcast is skyrocketing during these finals. But once the finals is over, it's going to go right back to, it'll still be good because Draymond is good. But it's not going to, like, that benefit you get from these finals is going to fall off. And it's just going to be, it's going to be a good podcast like a lot of other good podcasts out there. So it's just a different thing to say, I'm building it now. You're Draymond Green. You're a future Hall of Famer, I believe. So your podcast is going to be fine whether you do it during the finals or not. That was just an excuse, Rob, to do it. And you want to do it, fine. But here's the thing, Rob. These are the numbers, and we said them a few days ago, but they're worth repeating. Draymond Green in these finals, 3 games, has as many fouls, 15, as he does points,
Wow.
15, and assists, 15. He's got more technical fouls, 1, than three-pointers made, 0. He's got more turnovers, 6, than field goals made, 5. So this is not cutting it. And I've said, and it's true, that Draymond has never been defined by his numbers.
Right, he does a lot of other stuff, and we recognize that. He's not
And
going
he's
to have
not
a pretty
doing them
stat sheet.
now.
Right.
And he's had decent stats. He's toyed with triple doubles. He's close to, he'll give you 8 or 9 assists. He'll give you 8 to 10 or 11 rebounds. He'll give you 9 to 14 points. He's not close to those numbers here. And they need him. Especially with Steph playing on what might be a bad foot. We'll see how it affects him. But Draymond's got to be much better tonight, or it's going to be ugly and very tough sledding for the Warriors going forward. All right.